It is me, Mr. EMP for I Make Plays TV, and of course for the Raw Super Collective. Today we are returning with the Raw Super Podcast after a little bit of a hiatus. It's fine. Everybody needs breaks. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the fighting game community. We've been eating good recently. You know how that is. And of course, when you see me here for the Raw Super Collective, you know my cousin gonna be here. Free Reign. How you doing, cousin?
What's up, cousin? How we feeling? How we doing this Sunday?
Oh, we feeling magnificent. We feeling magnanimous. We feeling fantastic. We feeling savage, most importantly, right? And of course, we have a special guest with us.
The big homie.
An honored guest, the big homie, the big bro, Rome himself. Look, you know you Hollywood when you got the last name himself. Is that a family name?
Actually, yeah, Mr. himself is my father. You know, you can just call me Rome if you like. I'm happy to be here, yo. It's been a long time coming. Me and Free been talking about this one for some time.
Yes.
And I'm glad we get to rock it, yo. We get to do this.
Absolutely. And I'm glad I got to meet you. I was actually, guys, just telling Rome that Free met him at his first local. And we were doing this Raw Super thing and everything like that. We had been doing the podcast. We had been doing some commentary after with some friends and events and things like that. But what I didn't expect that day, Free was like, he messaged us. We was all in the group chat. He said, "Hey, yo, Rome asked me to be on commentary." I said, "Oh, look at you. Did you go in there flexing? Did you tell her like I did some commentary?" No, he just said, asked me because he's a cool dude. I was like,
cool dude. So
okay. I was like, I see you. So we had to pull up. You know, I said I had to hit him with the thank you for taking care of my boy. I appreciate you. You know.
Yeah, man. It's always love out here, especially with the East Coast SNK scene, bro. I'm trying to see all the homies out here thriving. So like, yeah, you know what I mean? Once I saw him, he was cool with it. I'm like, yeah, hop on, go do your thing.
Absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely. And I believe that was over at Brooklyn Games and Arcade, right? Shout out to them.
Yep.
Yes. Shout out to them. Appreciate them for the shout out yesterday and the retweet. You know, absolutely wonderful people from what I understand. Free is always giving me glowing reviews. Shout out to everybody in the chat from the Raw Super Collective. Everybody pulling up early. We thank y'all for being here. Very much appreciated. T, Ro, DJ. Thank y'all for being here. So what we wanted to do was give you a quick opportunity, Rome, to introduce yourself to everybody. Oh, Haster, of course, too. Mad King Haster, the Mod King. You know how that is. We want to give you a quick opportunity to introduce yourself to the people, let them know what you do. And what we're going to do is hit this quick exclamation Rome in the chat so they know where to find you.
Ooh. Oh, damn. Okay. Got it all set up. That's what I'm talking about. Some production values, baby. Got it all.
Hey, look, we balling on a budget around here. We gotta.
No, but my name is Rome. You can call me Rome. Rome himself is my tag. Man, I've been engrossed in fighting games my entire life, but I've been playing them competitively for the better part of about 10 years now. About 10 years. So I've been doing all that. I've been doing some commentary as of mostly, recently. I think that's what a lot of people are starting to know me for. But yeah, I've just been in the FGC for 10 years. I've been loving it, having a lot of fun, just getting better, winning tournaments, joining teams. You know how we do out here. Love
to hear it.
That's my thing right now, man. I'm all about just growing the scene as far as like fighting games are concerned. So I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you for being here. And, you're all about growing the scene. And that's a man of your word because, we are just burgeoning, just getting started. And you here giving us a shot. So thank you. Shout out to Tsushima for giving us a shot as well. And, of course, you're a big fan of Rome. We are as well. I also want to shout out, you mentioned joining teams and everything like that. Shout out Dynamic Focus, right?
Yes, sir.
I did a little bit of research. Shout out Team Dynamic Focus. I believe we have another Team Dynamic Focus member, Agent. I think he's Dynamic Focus, if I remember that. I think he was the Dynamic Focus. I'm not quite sure. He ran a Mortal Kombat event like weekly some time ago. But I believe he's also DF. So shout out to them, absolutely, for putting on for the FGC. Shout out to anybody putting on for the FGC, because it's a real tight-knit community. Everything is grassroots. Everything is from the ground up. You're just starting to see sponsors from like Intel and like Logitech and all these other sorts of things, right? But like that wasn't really it back in the day. And you said 10 years ago. So what was the game?
So the game that hooked me in the scene was actually Tekken 6.
Tekken.
I was gonna hope that you was gonna say like, oh well, KOF 98.
I did the math, and I was like, 10 years. You're not an 09er, so like that's not.
Technically, I am an 09er. I say 10 years, but a little like maybe around 2011. I think is when I started.
Okay.
11 years. Okay. But yeah, I consider myself an 09er.
A little bit of an 09er. For y'all that are not familiar, I believe like 09er, that is Street Fighter 4 that when that released, right? And that kind of brought a giant influx of many different people into the fighting game community. Hopefully, there'll be a new term soon, 2023ers. I can't wait for it. I want to see what's going on. And I only know that, right, because I've only been in this for a little bit. I only know that because I do my research, right? I'm a student of the game. I love FGC esports. I think that there is no esport in comparison. It is pro wrestling. It is boxing. It is UFC.
After the show and be like, the fuck is an 09er? Like,
and so like I go back and I watch those things the same way I go back and I watch like Stone Cold Shawn Michaels, the same way I go back and I watch Mike Tyson bite Holyfield ear off and stuff like that. I go back and I watch certain sets and I know stuff like that. And so like I think that's where me and you have some stuff in common, Rome, because I hear you say you came in with Tekken 6. But right now, you're pretty much Mr. SNK.
Yeah, SNK on a lot.
Yeah, you locking that down. But you're staking that flag, and I love to see it.
I got engrossed when KOF 13 came out. I remember I was going to a friend's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know y'all know about KOF 12 and how much of a big disaster that was. Right?
No, we don't actually. That's the thing. We are kind of newer, and definitely newer to the SNK scene. So, like, as somebody that is coming in and like we're just starting to do the research that I know for a fact that you've done. That's why I say we got some stuff in common. What was going on with 2012?
So long story short, KOF 12 was just underbaked. It was it looked really nice, very pretty game. It just didn't play well, and it lacked a lot of characters. It was like an empty shell. It was almost like a pre-alpha of a game, right?
So like Street Fighter 5 when it released.
Well, you could say actually somehow worse than Street Fighter 5.
Okay.
Just completely underbaked, right? So that left a big, just a big nasty taste in a lot of people's mouths, right? Because they're like, damn. So when KOF 13 came out, I always heard, since I was still fairly new to the scene, all I heard was KOF 12. So I'm like, oh, this game is not, like, KOF 13, who cares, whatever, no one cares about it. And then one day, like I was saying, I went to a friend's house, and they had it on their laptop, and they were watching it, and that shit was like love at first sight, bro. I saw that, and I was like, yo, who are these characters? Yo, who are these combos? What's going on? I want to know who this is. That person looks dope, blah, blah. And then that's when it, like, really started to take off, and then I went back and, like, looked at, like, what was considered the best KOF, and then, like Free mentioned, I saw 98, and then that's when it started to just steamroll into, like, just, like, you go from liking one game to liking them all, to liking the fan base, to liking, just everything about it, the history of it, studying the history, all that stuff, man, yeah.
I was telling Free right before this, right, I was laughing because I said, yo, you understand these boys, they still do Garo events? Rome, Fendo, they still do Garo events over there in New York. Like they heavy in that. He was like, still, yeah, man. So like it's one of those things where like you say, you get into one game and you go down that rabbit hole, and if there's a rabbit hole that you can go down to, it's definitely SNK. SNK has a storied history, long history, twists and turns. And not just like the lore of the games themselves, right? The company itself, when you're looking at like certain things, you're like, what? huh? They did what, or what happened? Right? But then you kind of see where they are now, and yeah, there's still some questionable things. We're not here to talk politics or anything like that. They are coming up as one of the standard bear. They're getting their flag back. They're getting their juice back, their mojo back. They are on right now. As far as fighting games go, them and Arc System Works, right? So
they got it right now.
yeah, they are until next year when Capcom kind of snatches that back. I'm thinking, right? But
we'll see. I don't know, man.
We'll see, right? Because this is on track.
Evo is a good indication of the future of what SNK has planned. They dropped the bombshell. I know y'all saw those announcements, right?
Yes. I did.
Yeah. They went in, bro. They went in. So listen, we'll see.
We will absolutely see, right? We will absolutely see. And I am very excited to see, Garo 2 out there, all of these new characters. KOF's roster is looking to be the biggest that they've ever had, right? If they follow the trends with the 3 characters per team and everything, which why wouldn't they, right? For literal years, they've been doing that. Thank you, Cosmic Kaiser, for the follow, by the way. And so it's one of those things where you're being rewarded now, seeing a lot of success for what's been going on. KOF 15 has kind of put you in a position to get a lot of eyes on you, right? To get a lot of people to really take notice of the work that you've been putting in and everything like that. And so, I kind of wanted to ask you, where's your head at in regards to your journey so far, especially since February, since that growth and like kind of seeing like what a new game and all these new people in the community and what that can do for yourself as a creator.
So, man, you hit the nail on the head. As far as the last 6 months, I think the game's been out. It's been insane. The opportunities I've been getting, getting my name out there, like you mentioned, just having people come up to me. I was really kind of starstruck for a bit at Evo because people were stopping me. I was getting stopped a lot, like at least maybe 4 or 5 times, 6 a day, by people just come up to me, "Yo, Roman, what's up, man? Love what you do for the community." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, thank you." Whatever.
Yeah, man.
I had someone tell me straight up, like, "Yo, bro, I love your voice. Your voice is amazing." It was a little weird, but I appreciate it.
I've been told that too. It's strange. It's weird. It's weird, but you just, you kind of just lean in.
Yes, I got you.
Thank you.
It's a little different. But, I wasn't mad about it, right? I'm always humble about things like that. But yeah, just to see that, right? I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. This is what this game has done for me. And yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, you can say, as far as just trying to stay on top of things. I find that I don't have much time these days because I kind of have my hand in everything. If I'm not running my own events, I'm participating at someone else's, or I'm helping them run theirs, or I'm joining another event, like the team event I did with Justin Wong. Shout outs to him. Again, KOF 15 is one of the biggest reason I got to even be in an exhibition like that for Wisdom Gaming. You know what I mean? So this game, to say the least, has been definitely a life changer and something that has made me just even be more hungry as far as what I want for my own personal goals, as far as my content creation, my commentary, my competing, stuff like that. So yeah, 6 months in and I'm only hungrier. I only want more. I just want to keep going.
I love to hear it.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. That is absolutely amazing. You said it, you're a little surprised as to, the way that people have been reacting to you. I know you may see it in the chat, but it's not only been in the chat, it's been in our Discord, it's been on our Twitter and everything like that. Since we've kind of hinted it and kind of said hey, Rome might be pulling up. We might have a special guest and this, that, and the third. There's been a lot of people that's just like, oh man, that's dope. We're happy. We're proud of you guys, but we're super happy that he's here. This guy is doing his damn thing, and so I just want to make sure that you got your flowers in regards to this, because you have been doing this for a while. You have been grinding at this for some times, like you say, 10 plus years you've been at this. How long have you been with the smooth voice, the commentary? How long have you been doing that in this journey?
So commentary is an interesting topic because it was something that I didn't decide to do as a way of like, oh, I see people are getting opportunities through commentary. Let me go and do it. Like, I want to be a commentator. That was never the point. I would just hop on in my locals and help out Team Kick Punch Block. Afro Dynamics. Shout out to him. He does
Yes, sir.
commentary. He's like a bigger brother to me. He would do a lot of stuff alone, and I noticed that he was doing a lot of events. It was just him. He was like the one East Coast guy and a mixture of a bunch of West Coast guys when he'd go to the big events. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna just hop on commentary to help him out. I'm not necessarily doing it as a thing that like hey, I want to make a career out of this type deal. And I noticed that people say, oh man, your commentary is good, and I'm like, thanks. I didn't really think much of it, but like I said, my close friends would hear it and they would be like, yo, you might have a talent at this. And my close friends that I've known for so many years now, we keep it real with each other.
Hey, so they ain't gonna gas you up.
They would tell me, yo, Rome, your shit is trash, bro. Get the fuck off the mic.
Yo, that's that New York. Cause Free be saying, Free will tell us, oh.
Yeah. That's how they are. So I was like, once they said, yo, you're kind of nice at this, I was like, shit, let's go a little further. So I think it was 2018 was when I really started taking it a bit more serious, and then Samurai Showdown's release is what kind of started putting me on the map because I started doing more events. So it's like 2018 to 2019. Yeah.
Okay. So been at this a couple of years, kind of honing your craft, right? So when it comes to that craft, how do you approach the booth, right? Do you value more game knowledge or entertainment value? What's the approach to trying to mix those two, right? Because you are also a content creator, right? And I think that's a boon to you. That's something that works well for you, because I've heard people commentate that don't exactly have a common content creator vibe, and they're just kind of spitting knowledge, and it maybe sometimes is not as interactive for me or as entertaining for me. So how do you approach that booth when you get to it?
So I think it's two answers to that question. For me personally, I think content creation has 100% helped my commentary. Being able to be a public speaker, right? Talking for long hours by myself, so I'm able to pace myself, not get as tired, not stretch out my voice, knowing when to turn it up from 100. People also seeing my facial expressions, right? I think all commentators should be streaming in some type of way, or at least practicing, because it also helps you practice. If you throw a bunch of matches on, which I do, on Mondays I do like analysis nights where I'll just watch a bunch of high level footage from around the world, and like I'll talk to my chat and I'll explain situations. Oh, he did this here because his opponent did that, and I think stuff like that helps. So for that part, yeah, I think content creation is 100% helped. As far as like analysis or a bit of more personality, like a humor style, me, I try to fit with whoever I'm working with. I've worked with people who were like super analytical, who they know the game like frame data by like the back of their hand. They can tell you every number, every this, every that. And I'll try to play like the funny guy, where I'm like, okay, let me throw a joke in there. Let me be a little more comedic, maybe some one-liner and stuff like that. But I can also be analytical too. Oh yeah, free heard my stuff, right? And so that's another goal of mine on commentary is I always try to make my co-commentator corpse at least once.
One time. I gotta break you. Yeah, I feel you. And that really comes through when I hear you watch it. When I watch you commentate, when I hear you commentate. And a point that I kind of would like to make, and I want to know if you agree with me on this, right? I want to know if I'm crazy on this or not. People have told me similar things, like, hey, I like your commentary. I like the way that you approach this, right? I try to match that same energy, right? Keep that same energy type of situation, or try to be what the other person cannot. But one of the reasons that I think that I have that mentality and that I'm able to do that is years and years of being a wrestling fan.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Years and years of being a wrestling fan has 100% affected my ability and my understanding of commentary as a whole, and has helped me a lot. You watch it and you know there's the play-by-play and there's the color commentary, right?
Yep.
And they have their roles. They have different ways that they're supposed to engage with the audience. And if you're a wrestling nerd like myself, or like maybe you, Rome, right? Which I seen the post. I think you're a wrestling nerd too, right?
Yeah, I think on all day.
Yeah. So you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, okay, I understand how this flows. And then when I say earlier, I say, FGC esports is combat esports. It is WWE. It is UFC. It is boxing. If you have a background in watching all of these sort of things, I think commentary just kind of comes to you a bit easier, per se. So I just wanted to know if I was crazy on that. See, free don't agree, but see, free wasn't watching wrestling. I had to tell Free who Sting was the other month.
No. Let's not do that.
Yeah, look, bro, you didn't know Sting was taking the mask off and just revealing another Sting. You didn't know that.
How crazy Sting is. I just don't know that Sting is jumping off rafters in your back seat with the rear view mirror.
Yes, absolutely. That's Sting.
Sting beat up that kid.
Yeah, right. When he beat up the king, right? The kid.
The kid in the Sprite commercial. Remember that one?
That was one that I showed Free. I showed him that. I immediately had to show him that. It's Sting, right? Thank you, Kaiser.
I'm pretty sure he's my power animal.
Oh man,
he's not real, bro. He's not real. There's no way.
I absolutely love him. Absolutely love him.
Yeah. I think 100% pro wrestling, like, it helps, right?
Yes.
If you look at some of the best fighting game commentators, guys like Yipes, guys like Acoustics, what's his name? Lee Chung, when he used to do commentary. Oh man, what's his guy's name? Chris Matrix. A lot of those guys are really big wrestling fans. So like when you listen to their commentary, you can feel it, and that's why a lot of those guys are considered the funniest, right? When they do commentary, people love to see them get on, and I think a lot of it has to do with that. So yeah, I would agree with you.
Oh, see, I am not dragging it, Free. I am not dragging it straight from Rome himself. It just
dragging it.
Yeah, hey, look. Yo, it just feels good when you have any point, right? If you could be like straight from Rome himself. Bro, that himself name, bro, I'm gonna always say you Hollywood for that. You know that, right?
Listen, use it, man. If it works, it works, all right?
It works. It's dope branding. I like it. I love it, bro. I love it, but also you Hollywood for that. Shout out to you, though. Shout out to you. So what I wanted to ask, like real talk, did you have any like advice for somebody that is looking to get their name out there for in commentary? Like, what was the approach? Is it stick to a specific game and stay on like Dust Loop and Dream Cancel and this, that, and the third, or explore the love of fighting games? See what it is that you appreciate. Like, what is important to somebody trying to get out there and make a name for themselves in commentary?
I'd say the easiest thing you can do right now, especially because we're still in the pandemic, is put yourself out there. I mean, that's the most obvious thing, right? But like, yeah, join these Discords, scour Twitter if people are looking for commentators for events. If there's like weekly tournament series, one of the best things you can do is, like I said, practice. Stream yourself, recording yourself, and like watching matches. And definitely do your research. A good commentator, I think a great commentator actually, is someone who is familiar with the players, familiar with their past, their characters, things like that. Don't try to commentate a game you're not interested in either. That does not help. I once done Street Fighter V commentary and just it wasn't good.
Yeah, no cap. I feel like that. I feel like that when I commentate Tekken. I've been trying to get somebody around here to to get going with that, because I don't be knowing what I be talking about. He doing stuff. Yeah, like,
he's doing stuff. Whole lot of bus ass going on right now.
You see commentary for games, because I mean, at the end of the day, fighting games are fighting games, right? Every fighting game has a fireball. can block, you can jump, right? So you can do the basics. Like I can commentate Street Fighter V and do the core basics. Like, oh wow, what a nice fireball, what a nice combo, boom. But that's basic, right? I think what separates the better commentators from the okay commentators are the people who go that extra step to know the players, to know, like I said, it even helps if you know a little bit of storyline. Like I'll be the first to tell you if I see Terry versus Rio pop up, oh man, this is the very first iteration of KOF. When the developers were making KOF, it was supposed to be Fatal Fury versus Art of Fighting, but then they decided to add original characters. People like shit like that, right? So
the more you know.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. So just do your research. But I would say, yeah, for someone just looking to get into it, practice makes perfect, and don't how can I say this? Don't if you have like let's say the first time you do it and it doesn't work out, it's commentary. You'll get better at it the more you try. You just have to understand that understand that you want to do it. Don't try to force yourself to do it. I guess that's the best advice. If you force yourself, it's going to be the worst. Everyone's going to hate you. And don't pay attention to chat. Never pay attention to chat. Ever.
Okay. See what I tell you, Free? Never pay attention to the chat when you're commenting. I've been told you that.
Don't look at chat. There's always going to be somebody. If there's 1,000...
nigga.
Yeah. It's like the Allen Iverson quote, right? There may be 10 million people that hate you, the 1 million that loves you. Mm-hmm. It might be like that in the chat. There might be like, 1 or 2 people who don't like your commentary, and there's going to be some that are. So never pay attention to chat. Just understand that you just, whatever you have to work on, just work on it.
All right, dope. All right, so like one more, and this is kind of just a passing question. I know Free and I was talking about it before you came in. There's a lot of things that are on the horizon. The FGC is absolutely eating. You was talking about the Evo announcements, Garo 2, Shingo, Kim, my boy Kim is coming back. A Team Samurai Showdown. But of course, right before Evo, we got a Project L clip. We got Bridget in a Guilty Gear timeline, right? Then there's indie games, right? I've seen something for Metal Revolution. I've seen something, Rushdown Revolt. There's a lot of things that you can look forward to in the FGC, right? What is the thing that is on the horizon that has Rome himself, right? Like a kid on Christmas? What is it?
So this is game, right?
Bloody Roar, bro. I saw that. I saw you talking that Bloody Roar earlier. I'm excited too for something like that.
Bloody Roar. I can talk Bloody Roar all day. Someone asked me in the chat if I play that. Bloody Roar is one of my favorite fighting games of all time.
Let's go.
The game that's on the horizon that I'm looking forward to the most. Y'all may have heard of it. I don't know. It's called Street Fighter VI. You know what I'm saying? Rome himself is no stranger. Street Fighter. As a matter of fact, let me show you guys. Very first tournament I ever won before I was even in the FGC was a Best Buy Street Fighter 4 tournament. And here's the victor.
Yo, Free.
Let's go.
She took the kids.
It was the victory. Rome himself is
Yo, time out.
You took the kids, Ryu.
Yo, they was real proud of themselves at Best Buy when they got that trophy. Boy,
trophy.
There's no reason there should be a trophy that nice at Best Buy. Well,
bro, that's a nice trophy.
It was a 60-player. It was a free bracket, and it was like 60 players in there, bro. I don't know how.
They said one dude. They told one dude. They was like, go get a trophy. He was like, what's the budget? What's the budget? And he pushed that bitch. He pushed that motherfucker.
He haggled with my G. He negotiated down. He was like, look. I got 50 for you right now.
Right now, under the table. Let me get that. That one right there.
The guy that did the orchestrated tournament and everything, he's actually a member of the FGC. I don't remember his tag, but I've seen him a few times at Next Level. So it was very much orchestrated by like an FGC guy. But it was like a tournament. I went with my friend to get his laptop fixed by Geek Squad, and they were like, "Oh, we're taking signups for Street Fighter tournament." And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
And Rome said, "Oh, I'll bust y'all ass real quick." All right.
Intern, I picked this character right here. I don't know if y'all know her. Her name is Rose. You might have seen her around.
Yeah, orbs.
familiar with her. Yeah.
I gotta frame this actually. I picked her, and Ultra 2 was busted at the time, so we was just
we was coasting. It was free.
Ultra 2, it was a little free.
I see.
But yeah, definitely, this is the game I'm looking forward to right here. Street Fighter 6. You will see Rome himself on there. I will be both playing and commentating as well. So
dope. I look forward to listening to you commentate with you, and of course, hopefully we can get some commentary in with you, because I am looking to get into some stuff for Street Fighter as well. All right. So what we are going to do here is get ready for the violence, which means we're going to go on a quick intermission, get some folk in our lobby, and we will be right back with more Savage Sunday. I want to thank everybody that is in the chat, the new followers, Felicimo, Cosmic Kaiser, Tsushima, Shy Flower, but then of course some people that pulled up before the stream, because people were very, very excited about you coming through. Orple, that's a name. I like it. I like that name. And then of course some other people that came through. We got a lot of love for y'all. SFTH, we simp for the homies around here. It's a lifestyle, Rome. It's a lifestyle. All right.
I am a part of that lifestyle too.
Absolutely. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go on a quick break. Hey, Kiwano, welcome in. You're just in time for the violence. SFTH, we will see y'all in just a moment.